my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I am your host, the One Take Man. I've gotten pretty candid in last week's video, so you should be able to tell I actually am very passionate about this topic, and like all people who get passionate about this topic, I've often wondered what I would do if I were to get involved in the wrestling business. I've given it some thought, and I came up with a scenario of what I would do if I were to become the booker for a pro wrestling company, which in layman's terms means how I would manage the broadcasting side of a pro wrestling corporation. Because I deal with the broadcasting side, I wouldn't go too far into backstage stuff, so just assume all of that is taken care of, and all the competitors have enough or adequate pay, have autonomy over the way their gimmicks develop, have paid healthcare, and whatever else you'd like. The other thing you should assume is that this pro wrestling company already has an agreement in place with a broadcasting company, be it for TV or for streaming. And this company pretty much gives a certain carte blanche when it comes to broadcasting. So I can show show as many shows as I'd like whenever I'd like, within reason. I would like to organize the competitive schedule of this company around the idea of a weekly show on a Friday night, and namely it should take place every week, so that gives us 52 regular shows a year, alongside several special shows that take place that in the beginning will take place around 4 times a year, and then after a few years will take place 12 times a year, so once every month, and always on a Saturday. In total, that should give us 60 to 64 to 65 shows a year. Not televised shows period. Because I don't want to do house shows or DVD exclusives or any other thing like that. What you see is what you get. I'm not trying to hide anything. I want to give the audience that level of satisfaction. I also want to give competitors some level of assurance that they don't have to break their bodies through exhaustion. All you have is one or two shows a week. Conversely, because I am working with a limited resource, which is the human attention span, I don't want to annoy or alienate or risk audience retention, which is why I'm also keeping the shows themselves to a controlled length. The regular shows should last about 2 hours, and the specials should take 3, maybe 4 hours at most, because if they last any longer, you risk alienating your audience. So, what should the content of these shows be? Well, pro wrestling, like any other competition-oriented form of media, is focused around showing that a specific character or performer is the best among their peers. And in wrestling, you do that by awarding the best with championships. So, how many championships should this promotion have? I am thinking of starting with 3. World main event title, a mid-card title, and a tag team title. I might add a tertiary solo title after a few years, focusing around a certain gimmick or a set of gimmicks, but for now I am just focusing on 3 titles. How do I decide who gets them? Well, the first 3 shows will be single elimination 8 competitor tournaments. Will feature single elimination competitor tournaments. The winners will have, and the winners of these tournaments will win the tag team titles, the mid-card title, and the main event title. That allows me to showcase who everyone on the roster is, and it also establishes the initial stakes. Who has something to overcome, who has something to strive for, who has something to lose, and also I can create building blocks for certain initial feuds. These initial feuds will run alongside the round robin tournaments that I will be scheduling after these first 3 shows, which will take place over the next weeks and months and determine the number 1 contenders for the titles. This format allows the audience to get to know everyone a little bit better and establish a bond with them. It will also allow the wrestlers to better develop their gimmicks, and it also allows for plenty of opportunities to interject certain starting points for various more feuds. Then when the special events roll around, we close out a series of feuds, have titles be fought for and either defended or lost and won, and then we go into the next cycle with another kind of tournament, another set of feuds running parallel to them, and so on and so forth until we reach a definitive competitive schedule where the main event title is defended around 6 to 8 times a year, because if you defend it too often it stops being seen as important and a big deal, and it also establishes that just being considered for it requires a lot of effort and dedication. The mid-card title should be defended 12 times a year, so once every special event, because the winners of the mid-card title will be the performers who are earmarked for greatness, so to speak, as in these are the people who in the future will become the most prominent wrestlers in the company. So you need to show them in as good a light as possible, as often as possible, with the highest stakes as possible. And the tag team titles will be defended around 8 to 10 times a year, because I think that's a good enough number. How do we decide who gets to fight for which belt? Well, there are 3 ways we can do that. However, only 2 of them also work for the world title. That is, either you win a tournament that is specifically meant to crown or appoint a number 1 contender for the title, or you defeat the current champion in a non-title match. With the mid-card title and tag team title, I also want to add the possibility of a number 1 contenders match, where 2 people or 2 competitive entities are chosen to fight in order to appoint a number 1 contender, and these 2 fighters will be selected by both popular appeal and their win-loss record. So far in pro wrestling, only AEW distinctly follows the win-loss record. I still think I want to at least try and experiment with it. And yeah, loosely defined, that is what I would do with that's what I would do if I were given the opportunity to book a pro wrestling company. If you would like to know more, like for example, what roster size I am assuming when I created this booking scheme. If you want to know which gimmicks I find would be absolutely necessary in a modern pro wrestling organization, if you'd like to know the names of my titles, or what kind of tournaments I want to book and when I want to schedule them, then go ahead and let me know. You have a comment section for that. And if there is enough interest, or if there's any interest, I might just do a part 2 on this video. In the meantime, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you liked it. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.